Welcome to episode 83 of the Create Your Vibrant Life podcast. This is your host, Padma Ali. So today's topic is about how to create whatever you want in your life. And I have simplified into 2 simple steps. They may be simple, but they are absolutely powerful. So if you are the kind of person who likes steps on how to do things, then this episode is for you. And if you're not the kind of person who wants steps, this episode is still for you. So welcome. Hello, visionaries. Welcome to Create Your Vibrant Life podcast, where you can create the life you desire by tapping into your inner wisdom. I'm your host, Padma Ali. I'm widely known in the field of psychology to create long-lasting transformation. And now, I'm here to help you create the life you desire using a combination of neuropsychology and ancient healing practices. This podcast is for you, evolved, overachieving leader who's ready to unlock your highest potential. I'm here to guide you through a process of self-discovery to be the creator of your destiny. And you can do all of that by just taking aligned actions, tapping into the power of your brain, your inner wisdom, and ancient practices. So stay tuned, folks. I am so delighted you are here. Hello, visionaries. Welcome to another episode of the Create Your Vibrant Life podcast. I missed you guys last week. So last week was the first time I didn't produce an episode since I started this work. And that is it's the 83rd episode. Today is the 83rd episode. And, I had the content ready. And there was so much happening that I decided I didn't want to force it. One of my words for this year, every year I select a word that I want to live by. And this year I selected 3 words. And one of them is the word allow. In my life, most of my life, I'm going to digress a little bit and then bring it back to this episode. So in my life, what I've generally done, and you may relate to this, you may or may not relate to this, but if you're listening, you probably will. There was an element of forcing. Like if I wanted something, I had to make it happen. Can you see the energy behind it? It's a lot of forcing. And that is operating from a very masculine place. I need to make things happen. Yes, we all need to put in the effort and we need to take the steps towards creating something. But when we operate from this imbalance of masculine energy, it doesn't allow things to flow. There's a lot of, it feels forced. It feels like a lot of effort and work. And that is not how we create. So this year, I chose the word allow and allowing things to happen. And part of what happened last week was if I had produced the episode, I would have forced it. And so I just decided, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to take a break. 1 week taking it off is okay. And I'm going to come back to it from a different place. Now, once again, I'm sharing this because it is related to this episode, even though I went on a tangent, because this episode is titled 2 Steps to Having Whatever You Want in Your Life. And to create what you want, there has to be a balance of masculine and feminine energy within you. The masculine energy is more that of like, I'm going to make it happen, forcing it, doing. And the feminine energy is more that of receiving and allowing and letting things unfold, being more, from the feminine place. And we need both. We need a balance of both to create anything that you want. There are times in your life where there'll be a lot of doing, but when the doing is backed up by this feminine energy of receiving and allowing and flowing, it is a lot more easier to do whatever you want in your life and to create anything you want in your life and to have anything you want in your life. And so in some ways, this is the foundation I want to set for how you can have anything you want in your life. And I boiled it down to 2 simple steps. They may be simple, but they are powerful. When you can follow this, when you can implement it, when you can be with it, you will discover for yourself how easy it is to have anything you want. So, the first question I have for you is, ready? What do you want? What do you want? You know how many times when I ask this question, how many times people tell me what they don't want? And I am also, it's like I have found myself doing the same many times, but I've trained myself to focus only on what I want. Now, why is this question important? What do you want? You may or may not realize that when you don't have a vision, which is what do you want, you're practically lost. Now, imagine getting in a cab and you're telling the driver, just go. And he's be like, where do you want to go? You're like, just go. Or don't go there. Or don't go here. How is he going to get you there? Wherever you want to go, whatever your destination is. Most people get caught up on what they don't want, or what they do is, they start to overthink. How am I going to get there? What am I going to do? Is that going to happen? Is this too big of a dream? Is this too little of a dream? They get into this spiral of thinking. And when you think, you're sinking. Literally. I'm laughing because there's an ad. I'm totally digressing. This is so unrelated, but you know what? I'm not even going to go there. Never mind. There's an ad that I saw a long time ago. Oh, it's really funny. The ship is sinking, and they are in the. You know what? I'm not going to go there. Never mind. It might sound kind of funny. It's not relevant. Let me put it that way. All right. And I'm not going to edit this out. So let me get back to the episode. When you don't have a vision of what you want, you're practically lost. So the first step for you is, what do you want? When I start working with my clients, the first thing I have them do is look at all aspects of their life. Not one, not two, but every single aspect. I ask them to divide pretty much, like their relationship, money, family, spirituality, health, everything, like into different categories, and see what do you want in each of those categories. And are each of those categories where you want them to be? Most people, when they start working with me, come to me for one or two specific things, right? But then we don't look at all the other stuff. And I often say, if your life is not in balance and everywhere, it is going to have an impact. Say, you want to be, you're focused on your career, but your family life sucks, or you're unhappy in your relationship. That is going to impact your career. They're not two separate things. You are the same person everywhere. So the important thing is to look at all aspects of your life and see, what do you want? Start with that one simple question. What do you want? And if you find yourself going into, how am I going to get there? Is it even possible? I have this much. I'm going to use money as an example because it's very concrete and it's very tangible for most people to absorb. Say you're making 100,000, okay? And you're like, I want to make more money. By the way, we attract money. We don't make money. We attract money. And in your mind, you're going to be like, okay, I can ask for a raise, and my raise would be like 15,000 more this year. And so I'm going to get I'm going to make 15,000 next year. Can you already see how you're trapping yourself with this limited thinking? Right? It is like doing a little bit better next year, a little bit better. But that is not what life is. If you want to create something big in life, you have to think big. So if you forgot about the how, if you forgot about what is possible in air quotes, what do you want? Would you like to attract $1 million a year? Would you like to be in the best health? Would you like to have the best relationship? Would you like to be the best parent you ever possibly can? What do you want? So that's the first question I have for you. Okay, so the 2 steps. This episode is going to be simple, and it's going to be short and sweet and things that you can implement right away. And I really invite you, if you find value in this episode, please share this, because the world needs you to share. What I mean by that is, if everyone lived from this place of, I can have anything I want, and I can create whatever desire I have, imagine how happy the world would be, right? Most people feel so trapped. Again, I'm going to digress. Like, I went to a fair or something close by in our little town. Now I live in a little town, literally live in a little town. There's nothing. You leave the town's like 3 miles long, and you leave the town and there's nothing for miles and miles and miles. And I cannot tell you how happy I am being in a small town. Anyways, so I went to this little fair, and as I was walking around with my kids, I was noticing, oh my God, so many people looked just so stressed and unhappy. And I'm like, what is going on with the world? Why can't we be happy where we are and just in this moment? Okay, coming back to this topic. And most people are unhappy because they feel like they can't have what they want, right? And so come back to this place of, what do you want? So the first step for you is, what is your vision? Tap into your desire for what you want in your life and all aspects of your life. And if you find yourself going into the hows and doubts and is it possible, just pause, acknowledge it, and say, I'm not going there right now. I'm focusing on what I want. Because remember, right? Anytime your doubts come, it's literally like swiping off this desire, this vision you have. It's wiping it to the ground. And how are you going to build it then? And the reason, again, this is really important, what you want is, you've heard me say this many, many times, wherever you put your attention is what expands. If you're putting your attention on what you want, that's what's going to expand. If you're putting your attention on what you don't want, that's what's going to expand. And many of my listeners, many of you have children and young children like I do. Talk to them about this. Talk to them, because when my kids get into this stuff, like what they don't want, or when they start, if you have young kids, you've probably experienced this too. They start whining and they go into it's like never enough, right? I notice this with my kids. It's never enough. Like, you have a great time today, and then tomorrow they're like, I want to go here, and I want this, and I want that. And at some point, it starts to wear you down, right? Because is there any end to what you can want in life? Probably not. And so what I invite my kids to do is ask them to look at, where is their attention? Did you have a good time? Do you have gratitude for what you already experienced? Yes, you want that, hold that intention, hold that desire, but it's not happening today. And that's the other piece about your desires. You have to hold your desires even if you don't see them happening right now and then. It will come to fruition. This is where trust comes in. Trust is the foundation of this. Can you trust that your desire will come to fruition? Because everything is created first in the mind, right? Your thoughts are the ones that create your life into existence. Sometimes those thoughts come to life immediately. Sometimes it takes time. And I notice with my own life, I will want something like a simple thing, like a hair scrunchie, right? Like I'm looking for something to tie up my hair, and I'll turn around and there will be the hair scrunchie right there. Or I'll look for a pen. I'll be like, oh, I want a pen. I'll turn around and the pen is right there. These things come to manifest very quickly because there is no resistance. I am not thinking, where am I going to find the pen? How am I going to find the pen? Is it going to come? Is it not going to come? Is it going to be the pen that I like? Is it going to be the pen that I don't want? I am not thinking about those things. All I'm saying is, oh, I want a pen. And there it is. I'm looking for a hair scrunchie. Where's my hair scrunchie? There it is. Right? You start to notice these things in your life. It's really fascinating and it's fun. Manifestation starts with fun. And when you tap into your desire of what you want, it is fun, isn't it? Like when you can dream big and you can imagine what's possible for you, it is amazing. I'll tell you this fun example. You've heard me talk about our new home. That vision of what I see from our home, you can see the mountains, the beautiful, beautiful Sedona Rock Mountain. Like there's so many beautiful red rocks. You can see those red rocks. For 2 years, I saw that vision. And at that time, we had no intention of moving to Sedona. I was not thinking about moving here. I wasn't even thinking about moving here earlier this year. All I was like, oh, I want to visit. But that image of those mountains is what I saw for 2 years in my meditation. And when I would do my hypnosis, I would see that. And it's happened. It's happened already, but it took 2 years. See, if I'd put a timeline on it, say I was very attached, like I want to move to Sedona. I want my home to look like this. I want to have these views from my home. Can you see how there's a sense of I'm grasping, I'm again forcing, I'm trying, in air quotes, to make it happen? Versus I saw the vision, I was like, all right, I have this vision and that's it. And that leads me to the next step, which is surrender. Now you have your vision. And now you're working towards your vision, which is when your vision is clear, you will automatically start to take aligned steps. In order for us to move here, I still had to put in the work, right? I still had to find the realtor. I had to find a temporary home for us to stay. I had to pack up my bags. I had to do those things. But that happened as soon as I got aligned with my desire. So the action steps are really important. And then comes surrender. That's the second step. What exactly is surrender? You hear a lot of the spiritualists talking about surrender, but what the heck is surrender? Surrender is not giving up. Most people think about surrender as, I'm just giving up. Like, let me just, collapse and be like, okay, I give up in life. It's not a passive process. Surrender is an active process. Surrender is trust. Because when I have a desire for whatever I want to create in my life, and I surrender, I'm trusting that that desire will come to fruition when I do not know, but I know it will happen. It's that knowing. And with that knowing comes trust. Surrender is an active process, and it's a process of detachment. The Buddha says, attachment is the cause of all suffering. And with this process, you get to detach from the outcomes. That's what surrender is about. You're taking all the steps, but you detach from the outcomes. You're trusting that the outcome will happen. And if there's a different outcome than what you wanted, this is where leaning into everything in life is happening for me. I live from that belief. Every single thing that's happening is happening for me. So that's the second step, right? The first one is tap into your desire. Start to take aligned actions. Do the things that you need to do. The second one is surrender. Surrendering the outcome of what you think the outcome needs to be. Because anytime we get very attached to what I want it to be, comes the grasping, comes the masculine energy of, I need to make this happen. I need to make them do those things, right? But what if you just allowed, let it unfold in its own time, as and when it needs to? One of my mentors said this, like, if life is a continuum, right? Today I'm in this body called Padma, and when my time's up, I'm going to leave this body and my soul's going to journey on. You may or may not believe these things, and that's fine. But our souls are eternal. This is not my first rodeo here. This is not your first rodeo on this planet, right? You've been here many times in different forms. Will there ever be a Padma again on this planet? No. Will there ever be a you on this planet? No. Because that is you've taken this form for experiencing whatever you need to experience. But the soul journeys on. So if these desires don't get fulfilled in this lifetime, I know they will get fulfilled in another lifetime. It's fine. Okay. Right? When you operate from that place, it takes all the damn pressure off. The pressure is off. Then there's no need to be like, oh my God, like I need to make this happen in this lifetime. At the same time, it's not allowing things to happen. It's not being complacent with it. You still are an active co-creator with the universe. The universe is not like, I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to come and give this. No, you're co-creating every step of the way. And that's why your desires are important. Holding that vision of what you want, surrendering, trusting, and letting go. And taking aligned actions, and then finally letting go, letting it unfold. So, I'm curious, what does surrender mean to you? I would love to hear that. And tag me on Instagram. You'll find me hanging out on Instagram mostly. And it's like a fun thing for me. Social media is like, I'm not very much on social media. It's not my place, but I like posting on stories and just hanging out there and like showing you snippets of my life and all that. It's just a fun thing for me to do. But I would love to hear. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your takeaways, and what this episode meant to you and how you're implementing it. See, the bottom line is you can hear all these episodes all day long, right? But you have to implement them. So I invite you once more, tap into your desire and surrender the outcome and see what happens. You'll be amazed at how freeing the whole experience is. Now, as we conclude this episode, if you are struggling with what your vision is and you want more in life, you don't know what that is, if you have confusion, if you're like, I want, how do I access more of my spiritual growth in order to create whatever I want in life, reach out to me. I have just a couple slots open until the end of this year for intensive coaching work that I do. And I would love to assist you on this process and be a guide for you and help you get your dreams, allow your dreams to come to fruition. Goodness, I can't speak today. I'm like all over the place. Anyways, so I'm here for you, and I will connect with you at the next episode. And the next episode, I'm actually going to do a guided meditation to calm the mind. A lot of what I'm hearing from people around me or seeing with people around me is how stressed everybody is. So I'm going to do a guided meditation, guided audio to calm the mind. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. I have a request for you. If you found value, chances are that your friends and family will too. So if you can leave a positive review on iTunes, it will help reach so many more people. And if you have any topics or questions you would like me to feature, please send them to support@padmaali.com. And lastly, please share your takeaways and breakthroughs with me on Instagram @Padma Ali. Thank you so much for tuning in.